Well guys, it's finally here. F1 2016 career mode, racing for Renault, the banana car. Starting from season 2, just to make it slightly more interesting to watch. So obviously you've watched season 1 on various other people's channels. It's just the same old, same old. So just showing the race settings here, racing on expert. Waiting for the update that adds master, as I'm not quite quick enough for legend just yet. Running the manual gears, manual race starts, as we jump into the paddock here, looking at the new season start message. So last season I think I finished 5th in the drivers standings, which is very good for Renault, but the R&D did help a lot. As we go to have a look at our laptop here, as you can see, start of the new season. Looking at our upgrades, we have 4,000 resource points as we ceased R&D in Singapore last time out. So we are just trying to get everything level. We struggled with fuel a lot last year, so making sure we update our fuel so we can handle running in rich revs for longer throughout the race. And looking over on the right hand side here with the vehicle comparison, these updates would make us the fastest team in the 2017 F1 season. So we're deciding here, we're going to go downforce or engine. We're going to go for downforce, it gives us a slightly extra boost. Plus our Renault is already very quick in a straight line. Fresh driver standings here, fresh trophy room. And the part behind this series is the Forza Horizon 3 series I've been doing. Is getting very, very boring for me. I've nearly finished the game. It just takes a long time to edit, and I can hardly get any videos out. So doing something like this makes everything go a lot smoother on my channel. There'll still be Noob Journey every week on random days. We close the laptop and jump into practice.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. So Anthony, lots to do of course in these sessions, lots of programs to run. What are you looking for when you jump in the car for free practice?
Well, you have basic checks first of all. You know, is the car working correctly? What are the track conditions like? And you'll be chasing that as the session goes on. Things like that. Then you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it all, and they become more like test sessions where it's all about gathering new data, testing components, tweaking the setup and so on. So there's only so much actual practice that these drivers need. Most of them will be plenty familiar enough with the track layout, either from previous experience or from the simulator.
So you join us here for the first of 3 practice sessions here in P1 in Australia. Coming around the final corner here on the track of time localization test. You just jump on board for, I believe this is the tyre wear program. So we're on board now, taking it very, very easily. The main aim here is just to not lock up the brakes and using no traction, well I'm using medium traction control, but not to full throttle early, or at all really, if you can avoid it, as you spin up your tyres. As we come to our final lap here, we've done 3 purples, so I decided just to fly around and have a mess about, come across the line here. We're going to go purple in the tyre wear test. I believe we are in quali now, in Q1. It is raining. Our first lap, but it's intermediate conditions, and we go on our first flying lap here. And just to show you how much I was struggling in these conditions, having to go very slow around turn 1 and turn 2 in Australia, losing the back end slightly, managing to catch it, and I was struggling a lot around Australia, considering I'd already done it the season before and in the Noob Journey. I was expecting to have a much easier time of it, but it turns out the rain and only having medium traction control made it very, very difficult for me. So we come here and we lock up a little bit going into this right, left corners, losing the back end almighty there, trying to catch it. On the brakes, running wide, having to go into second gear to keep it on the track. Coming out the corner, full throttle a little bit too early, with the back end sliding all over the shop. We are 1 second down on Kimi Räikkönen, who I believe is in P4. Breaking the 100-metre board, hitting the apex nicely, having to go down to third gear. Oh, this is actually Q2. So by the looks of this is our fastest lap, I believe. Into the final corner. I was really struggling in the rain. Having to override the engine in third gear, trying to get the best exit possible down to the final straight. As we end up going P12 and Q2. We lock at the brakes and just give up on the lap, coming onto a second flying lap here. The weather, I'd waited until the weather got a little bit better, but as I came out I realised I only had about 10 seconds to get to the finish line, and that was not happening. So I ended up just giving up on the session and retiring. That's time ran out. That's P14 for Season 2, Race 1 around Australia for Renault. Take a look at the grid here. Kimi Räikkönen gets pole.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. So as we look ahead to what I hope will be a very entertaining race, I have to ask Anthony Davidson what you expect to see in terms of strategy today. I mean, do you expect a lot of tyre management? A lot of fuel management?
Well, don't we always? I don't expect these are going to be any more important than usual, if I'm honest. What I do expect, however, are a lot of drivers getting into the pits early for some kind of undercut on fresh rubber. If you can pit before the person in front, have a good stop and drive a blistering outlap, there may be 1 or 2 seconds to be gained. If anyone gets stuck behind another car, for example, that will be the go-to strategy, surely.
See if you can make it a points finish today.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, edging out Räikkönen, who'll start P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and Massa, Button, Alonso, Kvyat, and Kevin Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Esteban Gutierrez, and a Renault, Haryanto, Nasser, Nico Rosberg, and Carlos Sainz, Bottas, and Perez, Pascal Wehrlein, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Welcome to race day here in Melbourne, Australia. Looking at the strategy, starting from about mid of the grid, definitely not in the top 10, so we decide to start on the soft tyres and then attack at the end with the super softs. Good strategy, it's worked for me last season. And looking at the weather, it's going to be good all the way through, no rain, so that bears good omens for us as we get on the grid here for the Australia Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are underway here in Melbourne, Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. A great start from us, managed to get past Gutierrez on the start. Going into turn 1, easy on the brakes, just avoiding taking my front wing off there with Grosjean and Hulkenberg battling. Bit of oversteer coming out of turn 1, heading down the straight into turn 3. Going up the inside of loads of cars, getting up next to Kevin Magnussen, our teammate. We leave him the room. Bit of a collision there. Luckily no end plates were lost as we slide in to 10th place here around Australia. Up the back of Magnussen here, getting in the slipstream, looking to go down the inside into 4th gear, squeezing past, running a little bit wide, just making a move, getting it done. Leaving Magnussen in our dust. We've probably pulled out a little bit of a gap to him. Hitting the apex nicely there as we're on the back of Fernando. Revving through the gears. We know we're quicker in a straight line than those Hondas, that Honda power and the engine. Going down to 5th gear, trying to get a good run off the corner, but it looks like the cars in front have done the same as they are bringing super soft tyres. Magnussen has dropped out of the point as Kvyat has overtaken him for P10. Running a little bit wide coming out of that corner. Shipping down to 4th gear, making sure we can get around the corner. We're not in any rush now that we are in the points. Getting right up next to Alonso, right up in his gearbox there, locking up all the tyres. Cutting on to midway through lap 3. Hear Jeff on the radio there. It looks like there's not going to be any rain throughout this weekend, which is very good for us as we are so much quicker in the dry than we are in the wet. Pushing it up into rich revs. Onto the start of lap 5. We are right behind Fernando here, looking to make a move down the inside, shifting into 4th gear, touching side pods, losing the back end. I'll give him that place back as that was a bit of a cheeky move by me. To be in the next DRS zone, he's also got DRS. We're up to the rich revs here, going down, he's inside again, locking up massively, pushing him out, getting the move done almost, yes, as he finally gives up the pace as we are into P8 in this Australian Grand Prix. Cutting onto the end of lap 6 now. We are right behind Felipe Massa. Here, the Williams car. They haven't really done much R&D last season compared to the likes of us and Red Bull and even Toro Rosso. They now won a couple of races last season with Sainz and Kvyat. So we get into the DRS zone on Massa. Look at the straight line speed of this Renault. Looking at the move here. Got the DRS, the rich revs. Pull up to the inside going into turn 1. Lay it on the brakes, hit the apex nicely, get straight past him, try to straight line that second corner as much as possible. So we make the move into P5. Getting on to the end of lap 7 and the start of lap 8, going down the pit straight. Look, there's a couple of cars in the pits. That's Jenson Button and Kimi Räikkönen. So it's just me and the 2 Red Bulls now who chose to start on the soft tyres due to the wet weather in quali. Great choice of tyres there by Red Bull as we pull into the pits at the end of that lap, braking for the board, getting it all slowed down as Massa comes in behind us. Going onto the super soft tyres, and here I was thinking if I can push as hard as possible, maybe we can make it the 3 places and get ourselves on the podium with about 6 laps to go. Well, now 5 laps to go as we are on to the start of lap 10. We pull out behind Jenson Button. Oh, Fernando gets us just down the straight. So he's actually managed to do the undercar on us. And he's got back out in front of us as K-Mag's in the pits in lap 10. We have the DRS on Fernando here. With the rich revs and the DRS and this super Renault powered engine. We go, try to go up his inside. We touch tyres. We leave him the room. We give him the place back again. As we get into the second DRS, and I didn't want to lose that DRS. As we've definitely got him now. Look at the speed we've got going into turn 3. Hitting the apex nicely, pushing him out, leaving him out to dry, and taking the position for P7 in this Australian Grand Prix. You check out the move again, up his inside. We've got the better tyres. We're in rich revs. We've probably got the faster engine, and that's a nice position taken there. Lap 13, later on into the Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel here in P6, last year's champion. And it looks like it's got some type of issue here as we are absolutely flying around. We're getting the DRS and we just get right past him. No messing about. Jeff did come on the team radio early on in the race and said Sebastian was having issues. I'm not sure what type, but we have just flew right past him there. Look at that banana going straight past the prancing horse into turn 1. Easy as you like. And we cut to the end of the final lap here. Not much happened in between there. I was just trying to push the cats up with Jensen. That McLaren Honda is seriously quick this season. As Lewis Hamilton crosses the line to win the first race of the F1 2017 season. Lewis Hamilton taking the first 25 points as we come around the final corner, coming down the final straight. Disappointing result really. The rain affected us a lot as we crossed the line for P6.
I think the boss will be happy with that one.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table.
Right,
Lewis
looking at
Hamilton
the
takes
grid,
over the lead of the drivers'
Lewis
championship
Hamilton takes
after an excellent
pole
result.
and
now I'd like to
wins
ask
the race
you,
round
Anthony
Australia.
Davidson, who was your
Daniel
driver
Ricciardo
of
in
the
second,
day?
Kimi
And
Räikkönen
now
in
let's take
third,
a look
Max
at the
Verstappen
constructors' standings.
in
Red
fourth,
Bull moved
Jensen
to the
fifth,
top
and
of the
me
table.
down in
After
sixth
all
place.
this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the
Very
next
average
race. We hope to see you
finishing
then.
position there
Take
for me.
care.
Obviously, quali was disappointing considering it was wet, but we managed to get some points on the board for Renault at the first race of the season. If you enjoyed this video, this new series started on my channel, leave it a like. Remember to hit that subscribe button. I will see you all next time.